Good evening and a very warm welcome to First Issues. Air Botswana Corporation, the state-owned national flag carrier, has been plagued by trouble and losses for several years and has gained a reputation for being inefficient and never on time. The airline's financial performance for the financial year ended March 31st, 2014, deteriorated year on year as it recorded a loss of 99.99 million pula, compared to 75.84 million pula in the previous year and 47.12 million pula the year before. Yet within this same environment, other continental airlines have found it beneficial to set up shop in the country. Customers are happy as the competition within the industry is expected to bring about efficient services and reduce prices. The government has apparently received these airlines with open arms, anticipating the attraction of more tourists to the country and the creation of more employment opportunities for Botswana. But how is it newcomers such as Kenya Airways and Ethiopian Airlines can expect positive returns in a market where our own airline was struggling to survive, let alone grow and expand? We speak to the relevant representatives this evening to find out. Welcome back to First Issues as we look into whether indeed international companies are cashing in on opportunities that struggling national airline Air Botswana failed to leverage. Kenya Airways is 5 years younger than Air Botswana but has managed to commercialize its operations and grow its reach. Having established itself in the country in 2009 and looking to expand its routes to include national ones to Francistown and Maun, it appears the airline is here to stay. The company's country manager, Juliet Zintambila, tells us what opportunities they identified for them to set up shop in Botswana.
Today we've increased flights 5 times a week, connecting Botswana to the world and the world to the rest of Botswana. We have seen opportunities in Maun, Francistown and also Kasane. We aim to grow the tourism, that is holiday packages. We have a department at Kenya Airways that deals with holiday packages to actually attract the world to come to Botswana and see Botswana. So this is a website that is available online and can be accessed anywhere else in the world for us to increase tourism as far as Botswana market is concerned.
Ethiopian Airlines is older than both Kenya Airways and Air Botswana, having been set up in 1946, but its local operations are just a few months old. Company representatives assure me that despite the losses incurred by the national airline, there is money to be made in the industry, with the International Air Transport Authority registering 32 million in international sales alone per month on average from this region. Among the opportunities they identified when setting up operations in Botswana was the chance to open up the subcontinent through flight routes that have been typically Johannesburg-centric, especially for travels that have to suffer the inconvenience of obtaining transit visas just to pass through South Africa.
Ethiopian Airlines, when we came here, we have seen different opportunities like diamond hubs and also a tourism site. It's a very nice tourist site, especially Mao, Kavango, Kasane. These areas is a major contribution for Ethiopian Airlines because we need to explore it as we expect. But we have to develop the market using different, we are using different communities like Spartites, like Chinese, Indians. There are a lot of movements. And also as a globe is one, we need to explore Botswana to different destinations in different manners, like by advertising in different our area offices, like in Europe, in the United States, we are advertising Botswana as a tourist destination. So we will use different strategies to develop the market. Now, even within 2 months, we are gaining around 80% market share. That means it's a good, positive implication to work as airlines, okay? So if you see the total market, it's a big opportunity. For instance, most of the passengers are traveling via South Africa. Now we are bringing those passengers directly from here to different destinations. As I told you, we are flying 92 destinations. That means a big opportunities. And also, I would like to emphasize, most of the peoples who are like Indian community and Chinese, they don't need to have a transit visa or anything, right? So there is a problem while traveling via Johannesburg due to transit visa and other requests. So those things will be sorted out now because we are flying without any restriction via these two different destinations.
Juliet Zintambila shares the gains Kenya Airways has made in its few years of operation in the country.
We, like I mentioned, we started with 3 weekly flights. We managed to increase within a period of 3 to 5 years to 5 flights a week, and we also aim to go to daily flights. Now, part of achievements that we have achieved in Botswana, we have also partnered with the National Internship Program through training and coaching and mentoring of students. We have so far trained up to 25 students, and some of which we have absorbed at Kenya Airways, and some we have placed at different organizations. So what we have seen, particularly with Kenya Airways, we were launching a product that is night flights. We had a major challenge in terms of the market accepting to travel at night. We are the first airline that is operating in Botswana after 10 p.m. In the beginning, it was very hard to have most of our travelers traveling at night. However, to date, most of our travelers find it very efficient, and it has seamless connections through our Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. You find most of our Botswana are really enjoying and traveling at night. So to us, it was a challenge in the beginning, but in the end, it ended up positively towards our customers. It has indeed enhanced the efficiency that we aim to give to our customers.
Next, we will be speaking to the CEO of Air Botswana, Ben Dawa. But before then, our guests share their plans and projections for the local operations.
In the local industry, we anticipate a lot of growth. We anticipate to see a lot of airlines coming in, which is very healthy, and it gives us a competitive edge as an airline. So we do welcome the fact that we anticipate there will be newcomers coming into Botswana. That allows our customers varied range of options that they can choose from, and also helping us in developing Gaborone as a hub so that any customer from Botswana can actually have a wider access to the network.
Providing further proof that the local aviation industry is not only profitable, but yet to be fully exploited, are the plans for expansion that our guests have for this region going forward.
We have a lot of portfolios, so using those portfolios, we are going to engage according to the conditions. So currently, Ethiopian Airlines have a Vision 2025. So this 2025 is to expanding our network, and at the same time, we are deepening our markets. So that means using that vision, we are implementing in different stations, in different areas, the same visions, but we use different strategies to maximize our target.
We are actively exploring the possibility of increasing flights, to have daily flights in and out of Botswana, and also through partnerships and alliances, would like also to have an opportunity and access to the domestic markets. And we also be opening up a branch in Francistown that will enhance efficiency and also allow all our customers in the northern region access to Kenya Airways offices, products and services.
Welcome back to the show as we take a look at the local aviation industry, one that is growing increasingly competitive thanks to the advent of international players. The CEO of the 43-year-old Air Botswana, the successor to two failed national ventures before that, tries to help us understand the clear challenges the company is up against. How is it that companies such as Kenya Airways and Ethiopian Airlines seem to have been able to carve themselves a market in a landscape where our own national airline was struggling to survive?
Air Botswana in particular, we are focused on domestic operations, and we pride ourselves as a regional player. Now, if you look at the new entrants that have come in, our African partners from Ethiopia, from Kenya, these are playing the game at slightly a different sort of level. They are huge into the international market, they are huge into long haul, and we are not. So what is it that is happening currently in terms of international aviation, and in particular in Africa? We have the Yamoussoukro Declaration, which basically started the process of the opening up of the skies. And what we are saying is we need to see more of African skies being opened up. And this is primarily to the benefit of the flying public, to the benefit of the passengers. So it's really not as though Air Botswana has not been able to service this particular market. It's a market that Air Botswana has not been playing into. So for us, we don't see the incoming of the new players as a competition per se. We see it actually as an opportunity, because with these new players, we are able to partner and we are able to work together with them so that we synergize to the extent that we de-feed from their flights when they get to Gaborone, and we feed into their flights when they depart to their hubs in East Africa and for onward transmission of our local passengers. So as Air Botswana, we welcome the incoming of new players.
Some of the people we spoke to shared with us their intention to increase their routes into domestic markets. How then would that alter the landscape for you? That will definitely now be in direct competition with Air Botswana services.
A lot of people confuse open skies. Today, what we see in the world, when we talk of open skies, we talk of really government not regulating fares, not regulating frequencies of other players who are coming into our backyard or into our country through any means of bilateral agreements. And the bilateral agreement between Botswana and any other country where these carriers are coming from will govern what it is that the new carriers will do or may not do. What is it that today, when we look at the global village or the global behavior in terms of aviation and opening of the skies, there are hardly any countries that give rights to foreign operators to operate domestic routes. Operation of domestic routes, this is what is deemed cabotage rights. So to get cabotage rights in any territory, this is not necessarily open skies. Open skies is really, like I've said, we don't limit the incoming carriers coming into Botswana. We give them multiple entry points. They can drop and pick, which is what's generally known in the industry as 50 freedom rides. But rarely, and in fact, only in those countries where they have a failed aviation industry, may the governments consider giving foreigners cabotage rights. But I don't think this is the way the Botswana government wants to go. We are saying the domestic market in Botswana, it's open for anyone. Any Botswana businessman can come and start an airline and compete with Air Botswana. We are not saying Air Botswana needs protection, and in fact, we have not been protected since 2009. It's really an open market, but not to say that we must get foreign operators to come and operate within Botswana. This is really would be, in my opinion, feeding the children's lunch to the foreigners. And I don't think it's something that we encourage as Air Botswana.
What did you make of our conversation this evening? Share your views on both Facebook and Twitter. As up next, my co-presenter Bonolo Moletsane shares yet another issue of interest.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to First Issues. Was it not for the personal spam filter on your email, you would be inundated by various scams asking you for your personal information and rob you blind. Some masquerade as banks and financial institutions asking you to log in and update your information. Others hide viruses that will steal personal information from your computer. And let's not forget the notorious Nigerian scams that present situations in which you must send money to receive much more money. The threats are not just online and do not only target individuals. This September, we read from Britain's Daily Mail newspaper how a con man phoned a firm and said there was a virus on their internet banking facility and persuaded a member of staff that the firm's money should be transferred into a separate holding account while they fixed the problem. He made off with over £1 million, that is the equivalent of 16 million pula from that one phone call. The crime sounds too simple to be successful, and it's not even a new scam. Figures compiled by the British Anti-Fraud Agency showed a staggering £23 million was stolen last year from the United Kingdom alone by persuading victims to hand over their money in this way. The United Kingdom is far from the hardest hit by bank account fraud. A study composed of more than 6,100 consumers in 20 countries showed that the United Arab Emirates has the highest credit card fraud rate at 44%, followed by China at 42% and both India and the United States at 41%. Along with consumer protection agencies, at the forefront of safeguarding consumers are the institutions we entrust our money to. Tonight we speak to First National Bank Investigation and Fraud Manager, Mrs. Sibuku, to get some tips on how to protect our hard-earned cash. But before we do so, let's get familiar with what fraud actually is and what motivates it.
Fraud is an unlawful act. It is characterized by deceit, concealment of information, violation of trust. That ultimately, result in prejudice to either the organization, the individual, or the business community. The elements of fraud consist, one, of the unlawful making. The action therein must seem to be unlawful in the eyes of the society. It should be seen to be unlawful. It should be against the processes and the procedures therein. It should be unlawful against the legislation therein. So this is one aspect of the unlawful part of it. If, say, in a financial institution, you see a bank teller stealing from the teller terminal, that is unlawful. If you see a staff member, engaging in an activity that is against the processes, the laid down processes and procedures, that is unlawful. If you see, a bank official or any person from the financial industry, producing information, confidential information to a third party, that is unlawful. So these are the things that we look into as and when we speak or when we discuss fraud, or the unlawful element of it.
Now we know that any time a service provider conceals information or intends to use deceit when assisting a customer, they would be engaging in fraud. Ra le amogela mo lenaneong la rona la First Issues. Motsana wetso, ga se gore re go latlhile ka kgetsi. Kgang e re buang mo maitseboeng a gompieno ke a mang ditsetlana tse di supang tlolomolao e rotloediwang ke tlhokotsebe fa babereki ba dumela go loga maano a go tsietsa madirelo ka go fiwa madi ko bothokong. Le gore go dira jalo go ka ba tsenya mo mathateng a ntseng jang.
Tota hela ga re bua ka fraud. Fraud ga ena molelwane. Ebile fraud ga ena gore ke a bosemamang. Mongwe le mongwe o kgona gore a ba iphitlhela a le mo seemong sonese. Ke tla be ke emela kwa lapeng ke tsosa mokwalo e leng gore ke a go isa ko bankeng. Mme mokwalo ke ntse ke itsegela gore mo teng ga ona boammaaruri. O sena boammaaruri gongwe ka dintlha tse gore di supa gore nna tota ke mang. Ga ona boammaaruri ka gore gongwe sepe se ke se tlabeng ke se tsisa e le gore sa go kgontsha gore yo mongwe a tseye tshwetso. Ke tla ke tshotsa mekwalo e leng gore gongwe ke itiretse ga e bue boammaaruri ka se ke tlabeng ke tla ke se tshotse. So ke tsone dilo tse leng gore re nna re di itemogela tsatsi le letsatsi ga re lebeletse bone botlhokatsebe jono jwa go tsaya madi kana go tsaya dilo ka boferefere mo re bonang bo diragala mo dibankeng kana di-institutions tse leng gore di re thusa go kgontsha go fitlhela matshelo a rona mme le ka tsa madi. Mo go lona o lebelela ditsetlana dingwe tse leng gore di supa gore go gongwe dilo di a be di sa tsamaye ka ga tshwanelong. Go a bo go na le molato mongwe o diragalang mo teng ga one. Molato e leng gore o helela o dira gore yo mongwe a helela le a amegile ka tsela nngwe. Jaanong ga o lebelela mo bankeng go amega ga rona kana go amega e le gore wa bo wa amega e le gore o ha motho madi a leng gore gongwe ko bofelong ba letsatsi ga we go a bona ka gore sepe sa se go neelang kana information kana sepe sa se go tsisetsang se tla se sa nna sentle ene wa go helela o tsaya tshotso mo teng.
This is the market performance of the BSE for the week ended 25th September 2015. We'll start off with the index performance. The domestic companies index went up by 0.25% to end the week at 10,818.03 points, while the FCI went up by 0.02% to end the week at 1,562.92 points. When we move on to the number of shares traded on the BSE, last week you had 7 million shares traded on the BSE, and consequently turnover was 27.1 million pula, meaning that the average daily turnover of last week was 5.4 million pula. When we look at the top traded companies in terms of value, the top three, on the first place we have Letshego, which traded shares valued at 18.6 million pula. And then we have Sefalana, which traded shares valued at 4.6 million pula last week. And then lastly, on third, we have Sechaba, which traded shares valued at 1.9 million pula. When we look at the exchange-traded funds, the new Plat and the Beta ETFs didn't trade last week, thus ending the week valued at 100 pula 75 thebe and 38 pula 65 thebe respectively, whilst the new Gold ETF went up by 4 pula 30 thebe to end the week trading at 111 pula 50 thebe.
From myself, Bonolo Moletsane, the rest of the First Issues team, our most valuable sponsor, First National Bank, we wish you a safe and enjoyable independence, a wonderful viewing and a pleasant evening.